Sorry, it helps if I unmute. Hi, everyone. How is everyone tonight? Awesome. Well, I am Shada Libhart. I'm the project manager for the Greater Eastwood Livable Center study. I'm really excited tonight, and I'm excited to have all of you joining us as well. I hope that you're excited, and if you're not already, that you will be really excited once we're done with the presentation and into the night. I'd like to introduce Veronica Gorzinski. She's the executive director of the East End Management District, East End District. And she's been a great partner along with all of the staff at the district in helping put this project together. So I will turn it over to you, Veronica, for a quick welcome and hello.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Veronica Chapa-Gorczynski. I'm the president of the East End District. And behind me, you see an actual bike map of the East End. It is so exciting that we're here tonight. This is a project that has been something like 10 years and 8 months in the making. And many of you have taken time out of your day to join us this evening and have given time at meetings and given us feedback. And it's critical to get your feedback for this Greater Eastwood Livable Center study so that we can plan for the future and all of those projects that just help make the East End great. So on behalf of the East End District, we want to say thank you for joining us this evening, for taking time out of your schedules, for your wisdom, your candor, and your feedback, because we just can't do this without you. We're very proud to be Live Viva Eastwood, or Greater Eastwood and East End. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you, Veronica. Now, in normal times, we would have really wanted to do something great in the community, but because of COVID, we're doing everything virtual. But we wanted to give you a sense of who we are on our project team and who we have tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and ask the rest of our project team to introduce yourself real quick before we get started.
Hey everyone, I'm Jessica Wiggins. I'm on the TEI team and I'll be monitoring the chat this evening.
Hi everyone, my name is Adam Scott. I'm with SWA. We've been helping the team with parks and open space as well as placemaking. Honored to be working in the community.
Hi there, I'm Dan Joyce. I work with Veronica. I'm the Director of Public Affairs at the East End District, and I'll be monitoring the Facebook chat this evening.
Hi everyone, my name is Jose Eduardo Sanchez. I'm with Tecolot and we're part of the community engagement team for this project, and I'll also be on tech support tonight.
Hi guys, my name is Carolina Ramos. I'm with Tecolot as well, just like Jose, and I work in the community engagement part of this project.
Hi, I'm Natalia Beard. I work with SWA, and I was looking at designing parks and open spaces.
And hi, I'm Chelsea Young. I'm with TEI also, and we'll be helping out with some of the polling stuff that we're going to be doing a little bit later in the presentation. I did want to run through a quick few technology related things before we get started. First of all, this is live. We are recording this also, where you will be able to look at it again if you want to. We are on multiple platforms. We're on Zoom, we're on Facebook. Also in the Easton District, there is a live stream. So there are going to be a couple different ways that you can participate throughout the process. One is through the chat on Zoom. You can ask questions. We'll have a time for question and answers later on, but if you have questions during the presentation, you can start writing them there. Also, same with Facebook. You can type in questions there, and we're working through our team to make sure that we get those questions either answered through texting back on the platform, or we will address them as we go. And then after the presentation of the project, we will be doing live polling using Poll Everywhere, and we'll provide information for that. But you could get started if you want to by texting 22333, and then in your message box, type TEIPOLL, all one word, and we'll have this later on for you. But just heads up, that's coming, and we hope you enjoy what you see tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Chelsea. At this time, we'll go ahead and get into a short presentation that'll tell you a little bit about the project and really start to focus on our recommendations for the future. Jose Eduardo? It doesn't seem like we have any sound.
It builds on the significant investments that have been made, like the light rail line, and thinks about how.
Let's try that again.
This project. It's an effort to plan for the future of the greater Eastwood community. It factors in our mobility options and how people of all ages and abilities can get to the places they want to go. It takes into account the parks, open spaces, and natural environment around us, and asks, how can we leverage them and create more? It pulls in the unique culture and history of the community and identifies ways to incorporate that into more public places to broaden the community feel. It builds on the significant investments that have been made, like the light rail line, and thinks about how can we leverage those investments to meet the growing needs for economic and housing opportunities. To accomplish this, we went to the community this past spring and asked for your thoughts and ideas. We heard a lot of great information that solidified what we saw in the data analysis and spending time in the community. So now we're building on your ideas and creating recommendations to put them into action. How do we do that? We've identified several key areas that separately can improve the community, but when brought together, and when those ideas build off of each other, they can truly enhance the sense of place, the opportunities, and overall livability of the community. I'm going to walk us through an example that really shows how all of these pieces fit together to accomplish that goal. So we're starting with just a road. There's the backbones of the community. They connect us and take us to places near and far. But then we add comfortable sidewalks, safe ways to walk and bike. And people who don't drive or don't want to drive now have mobility options to get to school, the doctor, the store, anywhere they're wanting to go. And when we provide these options, we see people that use them. When we have more people able to get to destinations in a variety of ways, we see more viable economic opportunities in the community. People spend more time at businesses and around the areas. When we build on that further and add trees and green spaces, we further enhance the comfort and overall desirability of the destinations themselves. And ultimately, bringing in amenities that encourage people to spend even more time in an area, like seating and shade, art, wayfinding. We create a great place that reinforces the community and enhances the livability for everyone. So now that we see how these components work together, what is this project recommending? We've developed 6 primary recommendations shown here that build on each other to create a livable community. These recommendations are designed to be aspirational, forward-thinking, but yet attainable. Let's go into each one a little bit more deeper. So the first one is the Greater Eastwood is anchored by great streets. Great streets support economic opportunity, mobility, access, and safety for people of all ages and abilities. And in Greater Eastwood, reimagining key corridors has the potential to strengthen safety, enhance access to existing businesses and destinations, and attract new development aligned with the community's goals. This map shows 2 different kinds of corridors that we've identified. The blue is what we call livable streets. The pink, connection corridors. We can see here, there's different types of design that we're showing that show examples of a connection corridor, such as the top 2 examples, or the bottom, which could be livable corridors. We can imagine Telephone Road in the heart of the community, reimagined, redesigned into a main street, a place where there's vibrancy and people and opportunities to highlight art and culture. Our second recommendation is that Greater Eastwood is active and healthy. Opportunities to enhance community health and support environmental resiliency are so important. Places for play, social connections, community health, and resiliency are essential for creating great places that are active, where people have a high quality of life. Greater Eastwood has many opportunities to enhance community health and resiliency by increasing tree canopy coverage, enhancing park spaces, providing social places for people to connect and enjoy the community around them. Daylighting Slaughter Pen Bayou, bringing out the natural environment and natural components that today are hidden underground, and more. Schools are places where children learn, they grow, they interact with others, and build a sense of community. By focusing on access to schools for children and families to walk or bike to, we enhance the opportunities to build healthy habits for kids. We're also inviting them to be a part of the community by involving them in gathering data and assessing what's the quality of their community today. How can it be made better? By harnessing their ideas and developing programs to do that on a regular basis, pairing that with actual projects that help them get to school, to parks, and places where they want to go without having to be driven around is really important for the future. Connected networks provide mobility choices. They reinforce opportunities for people to access schools, parks, shopping, jobs, everything. This really builds off the backbone of our first recommendation of great streets and starts reaching out into the neighborhoods. Greater Eastwood has the potential to be one of the most walkable, transit and bike-friendly neighborhoods in Houston. With a connected street grid, frequent transit services, and opportunities to improve places for people to walk and bike, Greater Eastwood will become a place with abundant access and safer connections. Supporting connectivity provides mobility choices, not only for people of all ages and abilities, but also all incomes. We do this by thinking about how comfortable it is to walk, making sure that bus stops are easy to get to, and they feel safe, they're well lit, they're comfortable to sit at, and that our bike lanes are spaces where cars can tell bikes are supposed to be here, and bikes can tell this is a safe space for me to be. The Greater Eastwood community is known for its culture and history. Placemaking enhances the public realm through physical, cultural, and social identifiers that define a place and support its continued evolution. Through signage, gateways, cultural corridors, public art, furnishings, and unique materials, the community can showcase its culture and history and build on it for the future. The orange lines that you see on this map are highlighting potential cultural corridors that could further connect different destinations in the community. And last, Greater Eastwood is rich with opportunities for the future. The Greater Eastwood community is primed for building on infrastructure and transit investments. These investments can become catalytic opportunities for economic investment, job opportunities, and housing options. Some of the large industrial tracts that we see today are likely to redevelop, presenting new opportunities to enhance the neighborhood. We really need to think about how these investments can support job opportunities and diverse housing options that can really meet the needs of the community and what we've heard. By building walkable developments that are accessible to all near high quality, very frequent transit, the real opportunities that we can invest in the short term and the long term for significant change. I'm going to pause here for just a second. These 4 images show some of these possibilities in a little bit greater detail. Whenever we think about great streets and people being able to walk places and access different locations and hang out and enjoy the environment, enjoy the greenery, we can really see that the community has a lot of great aspects, and this is just building on them. It's enhancing them for the future. And this could be a really livable place for everyone in the future. So now I'm going to ask you, we need your help. We're asking for public input through September 8th. We have an online survey, and we're going to be showing or posting the presentation today and also the Spanish presentation tomorrow on our project's website, which is listed here in blue. So you can come back and you can watch the presentation. Your neighbors, your friends can watch the presentation as well. You can go fill out the survey and tell us what's most important to you. What do you want to see happen in your community? What do you think of these ideas? We're going to take a few minutes now before we get to question and answers and get a little bit of interactive feedback from everyone online. You can join us online by going to pollev.com/TEI poll, or you can text us. You can text TEI poll to 22333.
Great. I will take over from here and we'll get the Poll Everywhere survey live polling thing up here in a minute. In the meantime, as Shana mentioned, you can either text to participate or be online. So once I get that up and running, you can start typing in your answers. So here again, text 2233 to join and then type in TEI poll. And it should pop up saying you've joined Jeff Carlton's session. When you're done, reply leave. So hopefully that's the text message that bounces back to you. If you're having issues, you can text or put text in the chat box and we can try to help you. Otherwise, the online version is pretty simple as well. So everyone take a few minutes and answer the first reply by clicking A, B, C, D, or E. All right. So you can keep replying if you're still trying to get the hang of it. This one's just kind of to get warmed up. All right. So it looks like the majority so far has heard about tonight's event through East End District's website at 60%. That's good to know. All right, so the next reply or the next question is word cloud. So what you type will pop up here in a word cloud. The question is, what are you most excited about seeing come to reality out of the recommendations presented? Examples could be bike lanes, opportunities for schools, anything that you heard that kind of resonated with you. Type it into your phone or on the online format. Okay, we're getting some stuff in. Ah. All right, so far it looks like bike is the biggest thing that we're seeing, trails. And unfortunately, the way this word cloud works, it only pops up one word at a time. So if you have a phrase, we can kind of infer that, but for the most part, these are looking good. Housing, trails, accessible sidewalks. Great. Grocery, HEB, always good. Art. All right, great. I will close this poll and move to the next one. All right, so the next one is, if Telephone Road was redesigned as a main street, which features would you be most excited about? Write in your idea, so you can type a whole sentence, and then everybody else will be able to give thumbs up, thumbs down as they populate. So feel free to type in anything. All right, so far we don't, let's see, we have one, trees. Functional public art. Some of the other Main Street ideas, just to kind of refresh your memory, are wider sidewalks, potential bike lanes, better transit access, more public spaces. Creative ways of avoiding the train as a barrier. That's a really good one. Okay. All right, well, we'll give you a couple more seconds to type some things or put some thumbs up. And we will make record of all of these just as good discussion points. And I guess for some reason, in case anyone else ran into this, the text messages are not allowing you to type things into this. So if you want to type in anything, go to the website version. The text should have provided the web link. Great, these are some really good responses, y'all. All right, we're gonna move on, keep the time moving here. All right, so trees looked like that was number one on that one. The next question is, what are your favorite ideas for how Greater Eastwood become more active and healthy? And then this is similar format, so type in your ideas and then we can put thumbs up or thumbs down. Again, probably better to do it on the website, so go click on the link that's in your text if you're trying to text it. More parks, great. Connected and protected bike lanes and trails, all good things to get out and be active. Better sidewalks, walking loops, trails. Street lighting, that's a really good one. Sometimes it gets a little dark, especially in the fall. All right. Accessibility to more grocery stores and healthier food options, that's a good one. All right, good deal. I'm going to close this one up also, but those are some really good responses and looks like a lot of likes, which is positive. I think it would go to the left if there were thumbs down. So now we know. Great, thank you for your replies on those. The next one is to be a more walkable and connected community. Which improvements do you think is most needed? A, sidewalk and safe crossing improvements. B, enhanced bus stop access and experience. C, a well-connected bike network. D, expanded bike share with new strategic stations throughout Greater Eastwood. Or E, none of the above. And this should be able to text on this one. All right, so it's 3 so far that have gotten the most attention here. No transit fans out there. Oh, there we go. There's one. All right, great. We're going to close this one up. Looks like sidewalk and safe crossing improvements takes the cake for this one. All right, what could be the most effective way to support Greater Eastwood's strong and vibrant culture? As Shada was mentioning in the presentation, this area is very vibrant in the existing culture and has been for years. Some history is very strong. So these are some ways that we could help support that by providing signage, supporting neighborhood branding. B is providing local wayfinding to know how to get around and define local destinations. C is to encourage and formalize more community-oriented events. D is to encourage historic preservation, and then E is none of the above. And honestly, if you have suggestions for this one too, if you want to type it in the chat, that would be great too. Okay, ABC are looking like it's a tie here. All right, we'll close it up in a few seconds. All right, looks like B, provide local wayfinding to know how to get around, was top in this one. And to encourage local economic growth and housing options, what strategies do you think will be most important? So again, this is a thumbs up, thumbs down. So how do you think the local economy and growth and supporting housing options can take place here? No responses yet. And just to repeat, this should be done online, not on the text. All right, advocate for affordable housing. That's a good one. Support local businesses. Community land trust, that's a great idea. Maybe that'll stir up some conversation here in a little bit. Advocate for affordable housing, yes. A gateway space for the community. Kind of helps with the branding and everything too. More businesses that hire locals, that's great. All right, these are awesome. Good job, everyone. Thanks for playing along. Looks like advocate for affordable housing is received the most thumbs up. Internship opportunities for students. That's a great way to tie in all the different schools in the area, including U of H, how adjacent it is to the area. Great. Well, we will keep these recorded and refer back to them as we go further along in the study. So thanks again. And that is the end of the poll EV. I'll just throw it back to Shada.
Thanks, Chelsea, and thanks everyone for all the thoughtful comments. Now we have some time for question and answer. I'm sure that there are many things on everyone's mind. You can type in your questions to the chat box in Zoom or into Facebook, and they'll get transferred to myself or one of our other team members if appropriate. I will say thank you for bearing with us all with technology. We're all still learning and figuring it out as we go. And especially on my end, I've had some technical glitches tonight. So I really appreciate all of the patience. But again, I'm really excited about what I've heard from you guys so far from the interactive polling. And I hope you're excited about this project and getting projects actually moving forward from it. So far, I don't see any questions in the Zoom chat. Do we have any?
I'm so sorry. I think I muted you. I was going to say there is one in the Zoom chat. So Erica, she mentioned signage supporting neighborhood branding is especially important since we are facing gentrification in the area and EDO labeling. And then Jessica asked if she could say more about EDO labeling. So maybe we could hear from Jessica if she wants to unmute herself. Not Jessica, Erica, sorry, if she wants to unmute herself.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in East End, Second Ward. My husband also, our families are here as well. We have a lot of friends, and so we're very, very deeply rooted. I teach in the school here in the area and community as well. And while EDO is its own neighborhood, like I don't ever want to say it doesn't exist, because there's a lot of frustration with some people with that. But EDO is its own new community, and it's a great community, and it has a lot of things that we love going to. However, it seems that it's kind of stretching. And so even I forgot which website it was, but it shared something from East End District. But when I looked on their website, they put East End or EDO/East End and didn't specify any East End things. So it was a lot of so it's almost as if there's an erasure of the East End or the greater Eastwood community when people talk about EDO. And it's almost like a lumping in of this very rich cultural, historic neighborhood, and just kind of throwing it into this new community, which is something that's really, a lot of neighborhood people are very don't call me EDO.
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know that that's as much a comment as it is a fantastic, or as much a question as it is a fantastic comment. And I think, you know, we've heard that from other people as well in the first part of our engagement in the spring. And so I think that that's really important. And I hope that our recommendations to kind of bring out some of that culture and the history through the public infrastructure and through, you know, its own you know, kind of branding and using colors and, you know, art, things like that can really help cement the culture and history, you know, in this part of the East End. But I really appreciate that. That's very thoughtful and I think on point. Do we have any, I don't see any other comments or questions in the Zoom chat. Do we have anything on Facebook?
We do not at the moment.
So basically everybody is happy and they're like, this is good, this is great, and just keep it up, right? So I'm gonna, at that point, I think we have another about 20 minutes before the next open house session. Oh, we have one question. Is there a list of potential projects in the works? Yes, there is. So we have well over about 50 projects that are a little too detailed to talk about in a forum like this. It can get very much into the weeds, but we will be posting more specific information on projects and recommendations on the project website, which is eastend-greater-eastwood-livable-centers, I believe. Dan, can we get that thrown up, or can you verify that for me? I want to make sure I don't mislabel it for some reason. But yes, we will be posting more information up there after the open houses today and tomorrow. So you guys can actually go in and see more of the specific recommendations and kind of dig in a little bit deeper and help you provide input through the survey.
We've got another question.
Dan just posted, just so everyone sees, Dan just posted our project website in the Zoom chat for everyone. Go ahead, Jessica.
We have another question from Erica. How are we keeping in mind equitable access and advocacy for low-income families so that displacement from the neighborhood is not an issue? And Erica, please explain or add to that if you'd like.
Is that,
that
you
was
wanna,
I think that's
okay. Yeah, so the equitable access and advocacy for low-income families, equity is not something that's just important, but it's essential for us to be providing. You know, it's not just one particular thing that goes into thinking about equitable access. It's really kind of a combination. So if you remember back to kind of the build of, you know, starting with just the roads and adding sidewalks and bikeways to that, really the more we can create opportunities for people to safely get around so that they don't have to try and afford a vehicle or, you know, take on the burden of the cost and maintenance of that. That's one way that we're trying to think through access. Another is transit-oriented development opportunities. That's one way to really leverage the significant investments and the amazing amount of transit services that are available in the community. There's, you know, multiple frequent bus routes on top of the light rail lines, and making sure that people are able to live in areas that are close to that are walkable, so that it's easy for them to get to transit, so they can then get to jobs, get to other destinations, not only in the East End, but in the greater Houston region. And I'll say that one other thing, it's really difficult to think about in one project just like this. The housing issue is so great and it's so complex, but what we're really trying to do is provide how people can access the place they want to be accommodated in this in the study area. So, you know, not just having one type of housing, but encouraging there to be more housing studies done, and encouraging, you know, through economic development, through future opportunities, to really think through the variety of housing needs that there are in the community, and really kind of making sure that those are then tied into the options such as mobility, and making sure people can then get to where they want to go. I hope that answers your question. It's very complicated.
We've got another question from Victoria. She says, thank you, and says, given the upcoming East River project, is there a focus to connect the Eastwood community with this development?
Remind me which the East River project is. I think I'm getting my projects confused, and I want to make sure that I reference the right thing. Victoria, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, yes, of course. I'm speaking about the Midway development that's happening closer to Buffalo Bayou.
Yeah, so the study area is kind of cut off right at Harrisburg and at Wayside, I-45, and then Scott and Sampson. But one of the things that we're doing is really recommending some key corridors such as Sampson Street and Lawndale to be extended all the way out to the bayous, and to really think through that multimodal connections that can be safe and really accommodating and welcoming for people, to give access north all the way to Buffalo Bayou, but then also east to Brays Bayou. And we've been coordinating with you know, multiple agencies such as Harris County, the City of Houston, and others to make sure that the opportunities that we see through this project and the projects that we're recommending here are able to be coordinated and kind of continued on beyond the study boundaries.
I think it's probably good to note also there's going to be a bike plan that will take place in this area in the East End District starting soon. And Veronica, I don't know if you want to say anything to add to that, but it will look at more of the multimodal connections throughout the whole East End, not, you know, just to Greater Eastwood, but to the bayou, from the bayou, all over, transit, to U of H, et cetera.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Chelsea. All right, you guys have good questions tonight. Is there anything else? I'm gonna leave it open just for another minute or two in case something pops into somebody's mind. I'll do a double check. Nothing on Facebook right now. Okay. All right. So we are going to, we'll leave it open. If anybody wants to, you know, type in another question or anything, we're happy to answer that. We're going to stick around for another few minutes, and then we're going to have another presentation start at about 6 o'clock. So with that, thank you guys for participating. Thank you for your thoughts and your questions. Please encourage all of your family, all of your friends to take the survey and make sure that we know what you want to see and what your priorities are for the community. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,